It's funny how life can twist and turn in ways you never see coming. One moment, everything is simple, innocent, and full of laughter. The next, you're standing in the middle of a storm you never thought you'd be part of. This is a story about two girls who were inseparable, bound by friendship and the kind of trust that only comes from growing up side by side. But life has a way of testing even the strongest bonds, and sometimes the choices we make can change everything forever. In a quiet neighborhood where the streets were lined with tall trees and the houses all looked the same, there were two families who lived next door to each other, the Johnsons and the Martins. The Johnsons had a daughter named Emily, and the Martins had a daughter named Lily. From the time they were little, Emily and Lily were best friends. They did everything together, playing in the backyard, riding their bikes, doing homework, and even helping their parents with chores. They were like two peas in a pod, and everyone in the neighborhood knew that where you saw one, you'd see the other. Emily was the more outgoing of the two, always full of energy and ideas. Lily, on the other hand, was quieter, more reserved, and always happy to follow Emily's lead. They balanced each other out perfectly, and their friendship was the kind that seemed unbreakable. But as they grew older, things started to change. Little by little, the world outside their neighborhood began to creep in, and with it came new influences, new temptations, and new dangers. It all started when Emily's parents decided to send her to a boarding school. They thought it would be good for her, a chance to get a better education and meet new people. Lily was heartbroken when she found out. She couldn't imagine life without her best friend by her side. But Emily promised her that they would still be best friends no matter what. And for a while, it seemed like nothing had changed. They talked on the phone every week, and Emily would come home for holidays. It was like old times again. But then something shifted. Emily started coming home with new stories, new friends, and new experiences. She talked about parties, clubs, and boys in a way that Lily had never heard before. At first, Lily was just curious. She wanted to know everything about Emily's new life, and she listened with wide eyes as Emily told her about the things she had been doing. But as time went on, Emily started to encourage Lily to join in on the fun. "You're so innocent, Lily," she would say. "You need to live a little. You're missing out on so much." Lily didn't know what to think. She trusted Emily more than anyone else in the world, and she didn't want to feel left out. So when Emily suggested they go out to a club one night, Lily agreed. She was nervous, but Emily assured her that everything would be fine. "We'll stick together," Emily said. "Nothing bad will happen." But something bad did happen. That night was the beginning of a series of choices that would change Lily's life forever. As the two girls drifted further and further from the innocent world they had once known, their parents remained oblivious, unaware of the dangerous path their daughters were heading down. This is a story about friendship, choices, and the consequences that come with them. It's a story about how easily innocence can be lost and how quickly life can spiral out of control. And in the end, it's a story that serves as a reminder that sometimes the people we trust the most can lead us down a path we never thought we'd take. The night Emily took Lily to the club was supposed to be fun, just two best friends having a good time. Emily had been to clubs before with her boarding school friends, and she assured Lily that it was no big deal. "It's just dancing and music," Emily said, brushing off Lily's nervousness. "You'll love it, I promise." Lily had never been to a club before. She didn't even know what to wear. Emily helped her pick out an outfit, a short dress and heels that made Lily feel like she was playing dress-up. "You look amazing," Emily said, grinning. "Trust me, you're going to have the best night of your life." When they arrived at the club, Lily was overwhelmed. The music was so loud she could feel it in her chest, and the lights were flashing in every direction. There were so many people, all dancing and laughing, and Lily felt completely out of place. But Emily grabbed her hand and pulled her onto the dance floor. "Just relax," Emily shouted over the music. "No one's watching you. Just have fun." At first, Lily was stiff and self-conscious. But after a while, she started to loosen up. Emily handed her a drink, something sweet and fruity that didn't taste like alcohol at all. "It's just a little something to help you relax," Emily said with a wink. Lily sipped it cautiously, not wanting to seem like a baby in front of her best friend. As the night went on, Lily started to feel different. The music seemed louder, the lights brighter, and the world around her a little blurry. She laughed more, danced more, and for the first time, she felt like she was part of something exciting. Emily introduced her to some of her friends from boarding school, a group of older girls who seemed so confident and carefree. They complimented Lily on her outfit and told her she was adorable. Lily felt a rush of pride. She wasn't just the quiet girl next door anymore, she was someone new. But then things started to get hazy. Lily remembered talking to a guy, someone Emily had introduced her to. He was older, maybe in his early 20s, and he was charming in a way that made Lily feel special. They danced together, and he bought her another drink. Emily was nearby, laughing with her friends, and Lily felt safe. After all, Emily was there. Nothing bad could happen. The next thing Lily remembered was waking up in her bed the next morning, her head pounding and her stomach churning. She had no memory of how she got home. She looked around her room, trying to piece together the night, but it was all a blur. The only thing she knew for sure was that something felt off as the months passed. Lily adjusted to her new life as a young mother. It wasn't easy. Sleepless nights, endless crying, and the weight of responsibility often left her exhausted. But every time she looked into her daughter's bright, curious eyes, she felt a sense of purpose she had never known before. Her parents were supportive, though the initial disappointment still lingered in unspoken moments. Her father, who had barely looked at her in the beginning, slowly softened over time. He would hold the baby when he thought no one was watching, gently rocking her to sleep. Her mother became Lily's rock, guiding her through the overwhelming task of motherhood while still pushing her to continue her education. Emily, however, was becoming more distant. At first, she visited often, bringing small gifts for the baby and trying to act like everything was normal. But as time went on, the visits became less frequent. Lily could see the guilt in her friend's eyes, the unspoken words hanging between them. Emily was still trying to figure out her own path, and every time she looked at Lily, she was reminded of how things had changed. One evening, as Lily was rocking her baby to sleep, her phone buzzed with a message from Emily. "Emily, hey, can we talk?" Lily hesitated. It had been weeks since they had really spoken, and she wasn't sure what Emily wanted to say. But something in her heart told her that this conversation needed to happen. "Lily, yeah, come over." Emily arrived not long after, standing in the doorway as if unsure whether she was still welcome. Lily gestured for her to come in, and they sat on the couch, the silence stretching between them. "I'm sorry," Emily finally said, her voice barely above a whisper. Lily looked at her, surprised. "For what?" "For everything. For pushing you into a life you weren't ready for. For not being there when you needed me the most. I've been so caught up in my own guilt that I didn't realize I was just making things worse by staying away." Lily sighed, rubbing her tired eyes. "Emily, I don't blame you. Not entirely. I made my own choices, too. But I won't lie, it's been hard. Harder than I ever imagined." Emily nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "I know. And I hate that I wasn't the friend you deserved. But I want to be now. If you'll still have me." Lily studied her best friend, the girl who had once been her whole world. She had changed, maybe they both had. But she also knew that true friendship wasn't about never making mistakes, it was about learning from them. "I want that too," Lily admitted. "But things can't go back to how they were. I'm a mom now, Emily. My priorities are different." "I get it," Emily said. "And I'll support you in any way I can." For the first time in a long while, Lily felt a weight lift off her chest. She wasn't sure what the future held, but she knew she wasn't alone. And for now, that was enough. As weeks turned into months, Lily slowly found her rhythm as a mother. The sleepless nights became more manageable, and the overwhelming responsibility didn't feel as crushing as before. She learned the different cries of her baby when she was hungry, tired, or just needed comfort. She learned to survive on little sleep and still push through her online classes, determined not to give up on her education. Emily kept her promise and started visiting more often. She would babysit when Lily needed a break, help with late-night study sessions, and even bring over coffee and snacks when she sensed Lily was overwhelmed. Their friendship was different now, less carefree, more grounded in reality, but in some ways, it was stronger than before. Lily's parents, especially her father, became more involved in their granddaughter's life. At first, he had kept his distance, unsure of how to navigate his feelings. But one night, Lily woke up to find him in the living room, holding the baby in his arms, gently rocking her as he hummed an old lullaby. Seeing that moment melted something in Lily's heart. "You're a good mom," he said quietly, not looking up. Lily felt tears prick her eyes. It was the first time he had acknowledged her new reality without disappointment in his voice. "Thanks, Dad." That was the turning point. After that, he would come home from work and scoop up the baby without hesitation, making funny faces and laughing at her giggles. It wasn't the way Lily had imagined things would be, but maybe it was enough. However, just when Lily started to feel like she had control over her life again, an unexpected text message shattered her peace. Unknown number. "Hey, Lily. I think we need to talk. It's James." Lily's heart pounded in her chest. James. The boy who had promised forever but disappeared when she needed him most. The father of her child, who had vanished without a trace. She stared at the screen, her fingers hovering over the keyboard. Part of her wanted to ignore him, to pretend he didn't exist. But another part of her, one she hated to admit, wanted answers. After a deep breath, she typed a single word. "Lily, why?" A few seconds later, 3 little dots appeared. "James, I messed up. I want to make things right." Lily clenched her jaw. Anger, pain, and confusion swirled inside her. She had spent so long convincing herself she didn't need him. But now that he was reaching out, she had no idea what to do. Her baby cooed from the crib, bringing her back to the present. Whatever happened next, it wasn't just about her anymore. Lily stared at the message, her heart pounding. "I want to make things right." The words felt empty, too easy, too late. Where had James been when she was terrified, crying into her pillow, wondering how she would raise a baby alone? Where was he when she had to tell her parents, face the disappointment in their eyes? Her fingers hovered over the keyboard. A dozen responses swirled in her mind, ranging from pure rage to desperate curiosity. But instead, she locked her phone and set it down. She wasn't ready for this. The next morning, as she cradled her baby and fed her a bottle, Emily noticed her silence. "What's wrong?" she asked, plopping onto Lily's bed with a bag of chips. Lily sighed. "James texted me." Emily froze mid-chew. "No freaking way." Lily nodded. "Said he wants to make things right." Emily rolled her eyes so hard they nearly got stuck. "Oh, now he cares. After, what? 8 months of radio silence?" Lily swallowed hard. "I don't know what to do. Part of me wants to tell him to go to hell, but," she glanced at her baby girl, sleeping peacefully in her arms. "She deserves to know her dad, right?" Emily's expression softened. "Maybe. But only if he actually sticks around this time. You're not some pit stop on his guilt trip." Lily sighed. "That's what I'm afraid of." The next few days passed in a blur, but James's message never left her mind. He didn't text again, as if waiting for her to make the next move. Finally, late one night, she gave in. "Lily, meet me at the coffee shop on 5th, tomorrow. Noon." She didn't know what she expected. Maybe she thought he wouldn't show. Maybe she thought she'd see him and all the pain would come flooding back. But when she walked into the cafe the next day, baby carrier in hand, there he was sitting at a corner table, hands clasped, eyes locked onto her the moment she entered. James looked different. More tired. More grown up. But the guilt in his eyes. That was familiar. Lily took a deep breath, pulled out the chair across from him, and met his gaze. "All right," she said, her voice steady. "Start talking." James cleared his throat, shifting in his seat. "Lily, he hesitated, then sighed. "I don't even know where to start." Lily folded her arms. "Try the part where you disappeared." He winced. "I deserved that." "Damn right you do." Her voice was calm, but there was fire underneath. "You left. No calls, no messages. Not even a hey, how are you, for 8 months. And now you want to make things right?" James looked down at the table, his fingers tapping restlessly. "I was scared." Lily scoffed. Oh, you were scared. Try being 17, pregnant, and abandoned. I know, he said quickly, looking up at her. I know, and I hate myself for it. I was a coward. But I'm here now, and I want to fix this. Lily studied him, trying to tell if this was real or just another empty promise. And what exactly does fix this mean to you? James glanced at the baby, who was sleeping peacefully in her carrier. His expression softened. I want to be in her life. In your life, if you'll let me. I don't expect you to forgive me overnight, but I want to try. Lily felt a lump form in her throat. This was what she had dreamed of, James stepping up, finally taking responsibility. But now that it was happening, she wasn't sure she could trust it. You don't get to just walk back in and pretend everything's fine, she said. Being a dad isn't just showing up when it's convenient. I know, he said. And I'm not asking for easy. I want to be her father. I want to prove I can be better. Lily looked at him for a long moment. He seemed sincere. But sincerity didn't erase the past. Finally, she sighed. You want to be her father? Then prove it. Show up. Be here. Because if you disappear again, James, you don't get another chance. James nodded, his jaw tightening with determination. I won't disappear again. Lily wished she could believe him. James kept his promise, at least at first. For weeks, he showed up consistently. He helped with late-night feedings, changed diapers, and even stayed up with Lily when their daughter had colic. He got a steady job and started saving money. Slowly, Lily let down her guard. But trust wasn't rebuilt in weeks. One evening, as she rocked the baby to sleep, she found herself watching James from across the room. He was making silly faces, trying to coax a giggle out of their daughter. It was a simple moment, but something about it made her chest tighten. You're really trying, she murmured. James looked up, his expression unreadable. I meant what I said. Lily hesitated before speaking again. I don't know if I'll ever fully forgive you. He nodded. I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Silence stretched between them, heavy yet not uncomfortable. Finally, she exhaled. But I think I can try. A small, hopeful smile tugged at James's lips. That's all I could ask for. And maybe, just maybe, they could build something new, something stronger, not for the past, but for the future they still had time to create. The end.